welcome to B4u Startstop with me, Khushboo. Well, I actually saw a trick right in front of me, and Farhan says this is not a trick, and I was just telling him that, we've seen stunts and tricks like this happen in movies, and we always say, they must be having experts back there, and the actors don't do any of it, but he's actually done it himself. So, welcome to the show, and you actually left me amazed. It took him like 3 minutes by the watch, and he kept explaining me, and everything just went overhead, and he just kept on da-da-da-da-da, and here it is. Dude, this is amazing.
Thanks, yeah.
This is especially for Karthik, calling Karthik, or was it something that you always wanted to do?
No, I mean, as a kid, I tried it a lot. It never worked. So what I used to do was I used to take the stickers out from here and put them on the other side. Yeah, of course. Because I wanted to show everybody how smart I was by solving the Rubik's
So you just run to the loo and say, "Main karke aata hu quickly."
I mean, I'd start toying, and it was very easy to do one side, as it would be.
Yes.
But so I learned this now specifically for Karthik.
Wow. So are you going to continue doing something? I mean, are you going to remember this? Do you think?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's like a program, Actually, once you get used to doing it,
then it just gets registered.
Yeah, like today I've done this now after quite some time actually.
Wow. So you've actually racked those brains again.
Yeah, it's just like become a program now. Like you just know.
You get programmed to do.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like your brain is now just conditioned. It knows what to do.
Wow.
And you just remember it.
But this is not the only thing you've done for KCK. You've done a lot. You learned how to bike as well.
Yeah, I mean somehow both these things should have happened a long time ago, solving the Rubik's Cube and riding a bike.
Trust me, a lot of people at the age of 60 also would not know something like this. So
no, but I must say, in all honesty, I mean the internet was extremely helpful because I went to the internet, downloaded how to do it. Yeah. And then after that, of course, like I said, it's just purely memory. Yes. Once you figure that out. But I mean, anyone who wants to learn, you can go onto the internet and figure out a step-by-step guide. Okay. And then it's up to you and your aptitude of how much you want to actually discipline yourself.
But why did you want to learn it? I mean, you could have easily cheated, and since,
yeah, no, absolutely. There were plans that while we were shooting, we'd like to do scenes where in a single shot, while somebody's talking and you just start fiddling about with it and it gets done. Yes. Although that never really happened in the film. Yes. But at least, no, it didn't actually happen in the film.
Really?
No.
Oh God, all the effort.
Yeah, but no scene allowed that to happen eventually. Okay. But in any case, at least it's a skill that I've learned. Yes, I'm quite happy about that.
But you could have easily, chosen. I'm sure you chose to do this.
I mean, yeah, absolutely.
And I'm sure nobody told you you have to learn this.
No, must have been. Yeah, Vijay, who's the director, said that the character needs to solve the Rubik's Cube, and he wanted an option. He was like, maybe in a scene while we're doing it. So I said, okay, fine, let me go ahead and figure out how to learn it. And then I've learned it now.
I was reading somewhere an article about you which said that Farhan, the perfectionist that he is, that's a term that we use for somebody like an Amir Khan today in the industry, and you're still so young and people have already started calling you the perfectionist for things like these. So is there a conscious effort that comes in your part where you tell yourself that, okay, if I have to do something, I have to go all out and do it. Is it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really see the reason of doing anything else, doing it otherwise. I feel, yeah, whether it's a shortcut or not applying yourself completely or, not being able, I think when you're directing or when you're writing, I mean, there's a certain, your personality, who you are, how much you love what you do. I think that all comes into play, and you want to give all of that, to the work that you're doing. And I think
it does reflect in the work that you're doing.
And it does. I mean, for whatever it's worth. I mean, although, like I said, that we've never had any scene shooting, where this guy sits and solves the cube in, say, in a single shot. But regardless of that, I think it helps me understand the character of Karthik a lot more. Yeah. It makes me closer to who he truly is. Yes. So that's really important, because you don't want to just pretend to be a guy. You want to try and work your personality and work your life into being as close to him as you can, and then on set and on the day just try and be yourself, but yourself is now closer to who that guy is. Yeah. So then you're not you don't look like you're constantly performing, and that's a big challenge, I think, for any actor to do. So I'm still learning, and of course, and I think whatever I can do that's going to help me do a part better, I should do it.
Well, now that, we as audiences see somebody like you get into the shoes of your character so well, we think that maybe Farhan was born to be an actor. Did you think that way when you started off in production and direction, that, now that I'm acting, I was born to do this? Do you think like that?
No, I mean, I truly believe that my calling in life for a very long time, even when I was unaware of it, was film. Because I was a huge fan of film. I spoke a lot about movies. I used to like watch movies and I'd really have a very serious opinion and take on what I felt, why I liked something, why I didn't.
Rewind a good scene and see it again.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've seen films that I've liked, 30 times, like every day. Like Sholay, for example.
Okay.
Die Hard is another film, for example.
Yes.
So many films like that. So film really was the calling. Of course, you're young, you don't know what goes into making a movie, so you think, okay, fine, the actor and the actresses, because that's what you see, that's what you believe. So I was like, okay, fine, that seems like the natural thing to want to do.
Natural progression.
If you're
Especially
into film.
the background that you're coming from
Absolutely.
also, yes.
But slowly and surely, as you grow up and you start working in film and you realize, my dad's a writer, okay, so he also does something that's important in terms of contributing to a movie. I got more drawn towards wanting to tell a story. And write a story and be able to create that world.
As and when you understood different aspects of film.
That excited me a lot more than saying that I want to be a part.
Even now? After being as an actor in so many films?
No, I think both are equally attractive.
Okay.
To me, the thing is, but in terms of you need to have a certain sense of belief in yourself.
Yes.
Even when you're directing or when you're acting. And I believed in myself a lot more as a director and as a writer than I did as an actor. So you have to be ready. I think you should know when you're ready to go ahead and say, okay, fine, I'm committing myself to doing something in a very responsible kind of way.
Yes.
And I somehow never felt ready to say, I'm ready to do that as an actor. I didn't feel that I could take somebody else's character that someone's written and bring myself to it and actually make it flesh and blood and make it believable. I didn't feel that for the longest time. And I think working with many actors who are extremely talented, interacting with them as a director, figuring out how they approach their work, what it is that inspires them to play a scene a certain way, what do they first look for in a character, how do they first approach in bringing this character to life, taking him from the page, like whether it's the walk, the way the character laughs, or just simple gestures, how do they approach it? I think that's helped me a lot in understanding, okay, fine, if I had to go ahead and do it, then
what is the kind of approach that you would take after seeing so many different approaches?
These are the various processes that are involved that actors use. So maybe I could use it. So when Rock On came along, it was closer to my personality in terms of character. So it was a good first step, I think. For me to take that one.
Someone closer to you.
Someone closer to me, someone who's into the kind of music that I am. And just it seemed quite right. The kind of friends that he had were friends that I have. So it was a really fortunate first step, lucky first step to get. And then it felt good. I felt, okay, fine, I can push it a little further. So then luck by chance.
And you got great.
And now Karthik calling Karthik.
But Karthik is a very different character of whatever we've understood of Karthik than Farhan Akhtar. So we are going to probe into that. But right now it's time for a short little break. So don't go anywhere because there's lots more to talk about. Come right back only on B4u Startstop.